Memory is essential. It's the glue that holds our lives together. Without it, we wouldn't recognize loved ones, navigate our homes, or even tie our shoes. Every experience, every fact, every skill we learn leaves a trace in our brains. These traces, called memories, shape who we are and how we interact with the world. Imagine waking up every day with a blank slate, unable to recall anything from the past. Life would be a confusing and frustrating jumble. Thankfully, our brains are wired for memory, constantly recording, storing, and retrieving information. When we think of memory, we often think of recalling facts or events. However, memory is much more than that. It's an active process that influences our thoughts, feelings, and actions. From riding a bike to solving a math problem, memory plays a crucial role in everything we do. It allows us to learn from our experiences, make predictions about the future, and navigate the complexities of daily life.
Consider the simple act of reading. As your eyes scan these words, your brain is actively processing information, connecting letters to sounds, words to meanings, and sentences to ideas. This complex interplay of perception, attention, and memory is happening constantly, shaping our understanding of the world around us.
Our journey into the world of memory begins with sensory memory. This initial stage acts like a filter, capturing a constant stream of sensory information from our environment. Imagine the smell of freshly baked cookies, the sound of a car horn, or the sight of a beautiful sunset. These sensory experiences are briefly held in our sensory memory, allowing our brains to decide what information is important and deserves further processing.
Sensory memory has a large capacity but a very short duration, lasting only a few seconds at most. If we don't pay attention to a particular sensation, it fades away quickly like a whisper in the wind. However, if we focus our attention on something, it moves from sensory memory to short-term memory, where it can be held for a longer period.
Short-term memory, also known as working memory, is our mental workspace. It's where we hold information that we're actively thinking about or working with. Think of it like a mental juggling act, keeping a few items in the air at a time. We can hold on to this information for a short time, usually around 20 to 30 seconds, but it requires our active attention.
For example, if you're trying to remember a phone number, you might repeat it to yourself or visualize the digits. This active rehearsal helps to keep the information in short-term memory long enough to use it. However, short-term memory has a limited capacity, much like a small desk that can only hold a few papers at a time. If we try to cram too much information in, some of it will inevitably fall off the edge. That's why it's important to find ways to transfer important information from short-term memory to long-term memory, where it can be stored more permanently.
Section 5. The brain's hard drive. Long-term memory. Long-term memory is our vast and enduring storehouse of knowledge, experiences, and skills. It's where we keep everything from our childhood memories to the lyrics of our favorite song. Unlike short-term memory, long-term memory has an almost unlimited capacity and can hold information for a lifetime. It's the reason why you can still remember your best friend from elementary school or how to ride a bike, even if you haven't done either in years. Long-term memory is divided into two main types: explicit memory and implicit memory. Explicit memory, also known as declarative memory, involves information that we can consciously recall, such as facts, events, and personal experiences. Implicit memory, on the other hand, operates outside of our conscious awareness, influencing our behaviors and skills without us even realizing it. Riding a bike, tying your shoes, and playing a musical instrument are all examples of implicit memory in action. These skills have become so ingrained that we don't need to consciously think about each step.
Section 6. Making memories stick, encoding and retrieval. Forming lasting memories is a complex process that involves two key steps: encoding and retrieval. Encoding is the process of getting information into our brains, while retrieval is the process of accessing that information later. Imagine trying to find a specific book in a vast library. If you don't pay attention to where you put the book or create a system for organizing it, you'll have a hard time finding it later. The same is true for memories. The better we encode information, the easier it will be to retrieve it later. When we learn something new, our brains create connections between neurons, the specialized cells that transmit information. The stronger and more numerous these connections, the stronger the memory. That's why repetition, meaningful connections, and emotional engagement can all enhance memory formation.
Section 7. Boosting your memory power tips and tricks. While our memory systems are naturally powerful, there are things we can do to improve our ability to learn and remember information. One effective technique is spaced repetition, which involves reviewing information at increasing intervals. This helps to reinforce the neural connections and make the memories more durable.
Another helpful strategy is elaboration, which involves connecting new information to existing knowledge or experiences. By creating meaningful associations, we can make the information more memorable. Visualization is another powerful tool for enhancing memory. When we create vivid mental images of what we're learning, we engage more areas of our brains and increase the likelihood of remembering it later. Mnemonics, such as acronyms, rhymes, and acrostics, can also be helpful for remembering lists, sequences, or specific facts.
Section 8. Understanding memory, a lifelong pursuit. Memory is a fundamental aspect of what makes us human. It shapes our identities, guides our decisions, and allows us to navigate the complexities of the world around us. While the science of memory is incredibly complex, understanding the basic principles of how our brains encode, store, and retrieve information can empower us to become better learners and thinkers.
By adopting effective learning strategies, engaging with information in meaningful ways, and taking care of our brain health, we can unlock the full potential of our amazing memories.